guys, welcome to my studio. Today I thought I'd take you guys on a little tour around. It's quite a small studio, it's only in our spare room. So I've got quite a lot of stuff crammed in here. I work from home some days, I've got my piano in here, I've got my easel in here, and I store all my art supplies. So this is where I make all my artwork and run my website and things like that. So I thought it'd be interesting to just show you guys around. But yeah, let's just get going. Okay, so here we are in my home studio. This is where I pretty much spend most of my days when I'm not at work and when I'm wanting to do art or like set up my website or try and be a bit productive. This is my little home desk. I got this from IKEA, and I've got this lovely desk mat that has succulents on it. And I do want to get a new keyboard. That's just a really old one that I've got. Here I've got my Monstera just on a little plant stand with a plant pot. My iPad with a nice case on it. I have got Procreate on here, and I used to do some digital artwork on there. But I've sort of found lately that I prefer doing traditional art. It is a bit dirty, so I'm so sorry about that. This is my PC. I'm sorry, this isn't really art related, but if you're interested, here it is. I built this myself. I wanted to go for an all white setup. I still need to get some new cables to replace the standard black ones, but yeah. This is my microphone that I use for filming. And up here we have my shelves with my plants on. And this is a lovely art print that I got from a girl on Etsy that I'll link below. This up here is a little mini painting that I did. Really tiny oil painting. I never varnished it though. Let's get into some art stuff. So in my top drawer, this is where I keep my stuff that I want to grab for pretty quickly. So I have my little palette knives here. These are just some plastic ones that I use for mixing gouache paint. It's just so I don't overload my paintbrushes and it's a bit easier to clean up and stuff like that. Then I have all my paintbrushes here. These are for all my like water-based paints like watercolor and gouache and acrylics and things like that. Because all my oil stuff I keep over there with my canvas. Here I've got two travel water pots. And I can't do it one-handed, but you push that down and it pops up to full size. I've got two of these because I wanted one for cleaning the brush and then one for like adding water to the brush. So I was always using like clean water with new colours and things like that. And then I've just got like my kitchen roll, a little sketchbook here, little watercolour postcard sketchbook, which is quite cool. I like using stuff like that for when I want to do like small practice pieces. And then here I have a bunch of Prismacolor Colour Race pencils. I found that when you sketch out for a painting with just like a graphite pencil or something like that, you can get like horrible grey muddied bits all on your paint, whereas if you use like a coloured pencil, it sort of blends in a lot better and it just sort of works out better, it looks cooler. And here I've got some designer's gouache. I've split up these colours here because I've been doing a lot of research lately into being more eco-friendly and vegan with art supplies, and I found that these are not vegan, but you know you have to live and learn with these things, and I've learnt now, you know, they're not something I want to buy, so I've separated them just to keep that in mind. I will be doing a video on that in the future if you guys are interested. And here I've got some Daler Rowney Aquafine Gouache. Here I have some calligraphy pens. These I got when I was doing bullet journaling, which I don't do anymore. I did enjoy it at the time, but it's very time consuming. But if you want a new way of relaxing, I recommend looking into bullet journaling. Okay, so that's it for that drawer. Then down here, oh, okay, we have some Cobra water mixable oil colour. Now, I bought these because I wanted to start being more eco-friendly, as I said, and like using less toxic materials. So I didn't want to be using like solvents and stuff like you have to with normal oil colour. But the only thing is, again, when I was looking for eco-friendly and vegan options, I discovered that ivory black has animal bones in it. So I'm returning these, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Cobra. Unfortunately, like if you want like this sort of brand and you want to be, you know, buying vegan only, you have to buy them individual because these sets all come with ivory black. So yeah, that's going back. Okay, so here we have some Arteza gouache. Again, I've had these for years. I've not really used them much. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe the sheer amount of colours puts me off. Like there's too many. I kind of like to have a bit more of a limited colour palette and mix my own colours. And I find that when I've got like all these options, I get a bit like overwhelmed. Okay, here we've got some more Cobras. These I got in, was it Scrawler box or was it was one of the mystery boxes, but this was like a few years ago now. And yeah, these are water mixable ones. I tested them out the other day, they're pretty good. So I've got some other water mixable oils on the way soon. Here, oh my god, I think I've had these since school, I'm pretty sure. These are Expressionist oil pastels, and I'm so sure I got these from like secondary school or college. I can't even open them. Jeez. Are they still good? They're a bit dirty, but I think they're okay. I might have to play around with them one day. Here we have some watercolor artboard. So this is pretty cool for painting on like a really solid surface. If you want to do like a commission, for example, I tend to like to use this instead of like watercolor paper because I'm like scared of the paper buckling too much and then ruining the artwork for the client. And then here we have arches, watercolor cold pressed paper. I heard loads of really good things about this, so I thought I'd give it a try. Those are my old artworks. Oh my god. Don't look, I'm embarrassed. Here we have Artful watercolors. I got this from an Artful set. If I can open it. There we go. So you get quite a lot of colours. Pretty good quality. And it's in a nice little tin. Next one, we have a colour wheel. So I got this just to help with like finding colour palettes pretty much, and colours that go with other colours, and just a little bit of a guide. It does a bunch of things as well. So it's got like a complementary, split complementary, triad, tetrad. And then it's like what would happen if you added red and yellow and blue. It's quite handy, especially for like beginners and stuff as well. Here I've got my Stay Wet palette. I got this because I was sick of my gouache paints just drying instantly, and I just felt like I was wasting so much paint because it would all just dry before I had a chance to finish using it. There we go, so I've got my paints in there that I used probably like a week ago now, and you can see it's still wet. Brilliant. So yeah, I recommend one of them if you're having similar issues. You can also make them yourself. There's a bunch of tutorials online about how to do that. And then this I bought recently, it's just more acrylic paper for the Stay Wet palette because I ran out. Here we've got Davinci drawing coloured pencils. I use these for when I do my pet portrait commissions. So it's a lot more like natural colours. Love these. Really love these pencils. Here I've got a bunch of sketchbooks. I won't go through them because I'll probably do another video in the future of like going through my old art and stuff and just completely embarrassing myself. Here we have some Posca markers, and I also have the pastel set. Yeah, pretty fun. I don't really make art that suits Posca markers these days, but they're nice. Here we have my current watercolor paper pad that I'm using for my gouache artwork. I got it from Artful, which is another subscription box. This is some watercolor practice I did a while back of like roses, like really simplified roses. These are just some cats. Like I just did splodges and then tried to draw cats from the splodges. This is some of my gouache artwork. So I did some fruit studies. This I followed a tutorial on YouTube, I'll link to in the description below, of like Studio Ghibli style painting. This is my cow painting that I did recently, and this is a cat painting I did recently, and then this is a capybara, some sketches I did, and then this is an artist study of an artist I really love on Instagram, and I'll link them in the description too because their art is amazing. And here's some ducks, and that's all I've got so far. But I'm on a bit of a gouache kick lately. I kind of love painting with gouache at the moment. Okay, next up, we got some Georgian oil painting art boards. And again, like the watercolor, this is just like a thick piece of board with like a surface suitable for oil paints pretty much, and I find this is really good for practicing oil painting. Okay, and then I've got some more sketchbooks, multimedia pads, Bristol board. Now that paper is really thick, super smooth paper that I also always used to use for portraits, which I'll probably again go through in another video when I go through my old artwork. But it's really good for making like really smooth, contrasty artworks. Okay, so on the other side, this is more of my stationery drawer, and I've also got this tiny little sketchbook that I bought recently because I want to sort of take this around with me, take it to work and like just do some little sketches on my lunch breaks and stuff, because I'm trying to make an effort to draw every single day if I can. And then I've got my pencil case with all my pencils, I've got some liners in there and my erasers and things like that, just standard stuff. And then I've got like basic stationery and some washi tape, and then notebooks and stuff like that. Everything else in here is just sort of like bits and bobs, really, not really art related. So let's look over here. This is where I do my oil painting. Now, it's not the most ideal place because it's very cramped, it's right next to my piano, and it probably isn't going to be any good for larger pieces, any larger than this, which by the way is a work in progress. So my plan hopefully is to mount canvases up here, then I can put like a tarp down or something and just stand and paint with the canvas on the wall. I've seen a bunch of artists do that before. I think it would probably be good for me to stand up a bit as well. But anyway, this is my canvas. It's pretty, well, it's not that dirty to be fair. And it's pretty handy canvas because it's got this drawer at the bottom. So you can open it up and then store all your paints for easy access. I've got a few brushes in there as well and palette knives. And at the moment, I have Winsor & Newton oil colours in here, but I will be possibly storing these away or giving these away, I'm not sure, and just completely replacing them with water mixable oil paints. But I want to make sure I get on with those oil paints first. I'll see, I'll wait and see. And then I've got my varnish brush here, which is like rock hard. I cannot for the life of me get the varnish out of it properly. And then I've just got a little jar here. I think I got this, it's like a goo cheesecake or something. and I just washed it out, and I reuse it for like putting painting mediums in. And then here we've got some linseed oil, and I've got an old glass where I store my paintbrushes. These are for oil painting specifically. I do eventually want to get some proper storage for my paintbrushes as well. In here, this is just an old jar of jam. Obviously no jam in there anymore. But this is where I put my solvent. So this is like paint thinner or something, I can't even remember what it is. But I'm going to be disposing of this properly, taking it to like my local recycling centre so they can dispose of it, because I don't want to use this stuff anymore. It makes my head hurt and my throat and everything, my soul. And then here I have a glass palette. I poured out these paints because I was going to start painting this at the weekend, but I couldn't for the life of me open the white, so I had to abandon it. I have seen recently though, someone on YouTube, I can't remember who it was, again I'll link it in the description below, but they showed how to make your own glass palette using a picture frame, and it then had like the frame around the edge so that the paint wasn't just going to slide off the end and get everywhere. So I think I might have to do that, because that seems like such a better idea. So yeah, I think I'll definitely do that and invest in something a bit safer, because this is just a panel of glass and that's it. It don't really feel very safe. Okay, here, this is my work in progress. This is an oil painting of my two cats. This is just the underpainting, and then I've done a rough background and started this cat's face. He's called Oscar, and this cat's called Beetle. And hopefully when my new oil paints come, I can get this finished. And then back here, squished behind the canvas, we have like a magazine rack. Oh, I can't focus. There we go. A magazine rack. I think I got it from Sainsbury's. It's like a local supermarket in the UK. And I've got a panel, a wood panel here. This is a wood panel, which is so nice to paint on, but again, I haven't finished it. It's meant to be tigers like swimming. I've got some big canvases, and I've got some, whoops, I've got some tiny canvases. I've also got a drawing board like this with a clip, so I can pop my, I can pop pieces of like painting paper on it and then put it on the easel, and yeah. And then next, okay, and then here is my little cupboard. Let me just show you proper. Whoa. So this is my little cupboard in the wall, and this is where I can store a bunch of stuff I don't want out all the time, so like old DVDs and things like that. Down here I've got my printer. Here I've got a bunch of inks and some Gamsol and gesso and brush cleaner and stuff, like old stuff I used to use. I don't really want to use it anymore. But yeah, this is where I've just popped it all for now. I've got some varnish and stuff as well. And then here's just some little drawers where I have like little pencils and stuff. It's just a good way of storing all the little bits that can easily get very cluttered. I've got some books at the back and vinyls. I've got some Himi gouache there and some pro markers, and that's pretty much it. Most of this stuff is just not art related and just clutter. So that's it guys, that's my little home studio, my tiny little room, and how I store all my art supplies. Again, work in progress, but I love it. I love the way I've designed it, and it just feels really cozy, and I think that's important. So I hope you guys enjoyed having a look around my studio. I've sort of, you know, made sure that I fill it with colours and plants and things that inspire me, because I think it's really important as an artist to have a space where you feel you can just come and feel creative and want to make art. So my future plans for this channel, I'm going to be documenting my life as an artist, offering help and advice and tutorials. So yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like. It helps others to see the video and find my channel. If you want to see more from me, consider subscribing and stay tuned for my next video. It's going to be more of an informative one, and I'm thinking of doing a video about how to be more eco-friendly in oil painting specifically, how to find non-toxic alternatives, and also vegan friendly stuff if that's what you're interested in. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys!